Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO.
So, I'm gonna keep this real short and sweet with y'all boys out there. I see y'all trying to make noise or whatever, and everybody trying to keep me out the loop. So I just want to be known. I've been quiet for too long. I understand. I'm slipping on my pimping. But now it's time to snap back right and get back right, you feel me? So, 2025 is my year. I got me a whole hit list marked down. I can see the target. But I'm starting off with that boy Boots out there in Philly. I'm finna go ahead and get that done with. I gotta make that happen before he move up to 154. After that, I see T.O. Hill playing games. He'll think about going up to 147. If you think about doing it, I'm right here. If you want to fight at 140, we both WBO. I could cut down to 140 with you. Trust me, it's not a problem at all. And that's also for all the other 140-pound champions. Anybody can get it for real. I just want to let that be known. Like I said, I've been quiet for too long. That's my mistake. But I'm tightening up, and now it's time to take over this whole boxing game. You dig?
Leave your whole basket.
Okay. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Okay. Let me remove this one. Hold on. I don't know if y'all can hear me. If y'all can hear me, man, somebody press one in the chat for me. Let me know y'all can hear your boy BBO. But I'm excited. No matter where it goes, how boxing does, I'm excited because I think with these next guys coming up. Oh, so you can hear me. Cool. I think these next guys we got coming up, I think we got some superstars in the making. Like I said, Brian Norman Jr. talking about going down to 140. I mean, that's a tall task to go against a guy like a Teofimo Lopez, but to hear him say that is very exciting. Very, very exciting because you know what we need as boxing fans? We need more great young fighters. We need guys to come in there, do some work, make some things happen. I'm looking forward to it, to be totally honest. Um, and I just think it's just great for the sport. I think it's great for the sport to have this. I think that for me, when you think about a guy like Emiliano Vargas, you almost get chills because you kind of almost make you reminisce to seeing Oscar De La Hoya back in the ring. When you see a guy like Abdullah Mason, you see almost a poor man's Terrence Crawford coming up. There's so many good young fighters out there, and of course, you know, a guy I've been pushing for. A lot of people ain't been pushing for him, but my man Richard Torres. We got my man Moses in heavyweight. It's just a couple. It's a lot of different guys. What's going on? We got my man Puerto Rican Free. But
What's good? What's good?
We're just talking about the up and coming. Who's going to be the next superstar? I can't really pinpoint who it'll be, but I'm hoping to be one of the brothers. That's either Abdullah Mason. Definitely would like to see it be Richard Torres or maybe even a guy that people don't know about, Emiliano Vargas. There's so many good young fighters out there. I just think that we in a great space because at the end of the day, I know a lot of guys say they don't watch the heavyweight division, but I ask you, Free. I don't think I think without the heavyweight division, you have no boxing. What you think, man?
You said without the heavyweight division?
Yes.
I'm not gonna say that because right now all of the smaller weight classes are the most popular weight classes as of right now. More people are checking for the smaller weight classes. They're not really checking for the heavyweights like that. Like we just had the rematch of Usyk versus Tyson Fury. Nobody really talked about that fight. Nobody even talked about the first fight prior to it happening. So I'm not gonna say that without heavyweight we wouldn't have no boxing. Now maybe back in the days or earlier, the earlier 2000s and in the 90s, but as of right now, I'm not gonna say that because there's a lot of young guys that a lot of people want to see fight. So yeah, I'm not gonna say that right now.
Yeah, it used to be an old saying, custom motto used to say all the time, boxing goes, the heavyweight division goes. And I still believe that. The reason I say I believe that is because we just seen some pretty significant paydays go to Tyson Fury as well as my guy Usyk. So I think no matter how you play it or how it goes, I think boxing is really, really in a special place because they're still making money. Let a few haters tell it boxing is dead, but it's not. Boxing will never die. Salute to my man Thomas, man. Feliz
Um,
Navidad, brother.
I gotta say
Um, Go ahead.
the only thing about those paydays that we saw Usyk and Tyson Fury get,
Hmm.
the problem with that and the people will look at it and say, oh, the heavyweights are still the highest paid, which they are still the highest paid fighters. But when you look at what Tyson Fury and Usyk got, it's kind of deceiving because the promotional companies didn't pay that. That was an outsider that paid for that fight.
Hmm.
So it's kind of deceiving when you see it because I think if the promotional company put it on, I don't think they would have got nowhere near the money that they got for that fight. Neither one of the fights.
Well, keep in mind, Deontay Wilder made 26 million. I think he took home 17 million. After taxes, I believe Tyson Fury made 19 million, took home almost 12 million take home. So I don't know. It's not to degree it is with Turkey Al Sheik, but these guys are making some millions.
No,
Um, Go
the
ahead.
19, the 19 and the 20,
Hmm.
that's about right. I'm
Hmm.
talking about what Turkey gave them. That's why I said it's
Oh
a
yeah.
little deceiving because what Turkey gave them, they not getting that type of money from these promotional companies.
Yeah,
That's the
that's a
type of
good
money
point.
that Floyd and Manny Pacquiao got. Those
Yeah.
heavyweights wasn't making that type of money.
There was an article that Errol Spence did with what's the guy? I think the guy's name is Champside. Salute the Champside. Um, and he basically put out on his story. I don't know if you call it an article, but he put out on his story that Errol Spence at one time the only person who was making more money than him at PBC was Deontay Wilder, who was making upwards of 21 million to 15 million a fight. So I don't know if that's true, but that's what Errol said.
No,
So go ahead.
that's absolutely true. That's the reason why he started calling it. That's the reason why he took the name as the Big Fish,
Hmm.
because the only person that was making more money than him at that time was Deontay Wilder on the PBC side. Was Deontay
Yeah.
Wilder? Then I mean after once Tank Davis had that fight with Ryan, Tank
Hmm.
Davis surpassed him, and Tank
Hmm.
Davis hasn't looked back since then. But at that time when he made that statement, he
Hmm.
was absolutely correct about that. He was the highest paid person outside of Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, because people don't notice, but people talk about Al Heyman and PBC having debt. That supposed $900 million was forgiven. So the money's there. And one thing I remember, I don't know if people notice, but when Deontay Wilder left PBC, he left with a $15 million option. So he took $15 million home because they decided not to put a fight on. They just let him put the money in his pocket and let him go. So you don't give nobody no 15 million if you're not making no money. So the thing I'll tell you is this: I didn't realize Deontay Wilder was making so much money. I did not know he was making that kind of money.
That's what I said. Deontay Wilder is set. He's set. He don't have to fight ever again if he don't want to. He's
Hmm.
doing this because he wants to do it. It's not because he needs the money or anything like that. He's
Hmm.
set. I mean, he invests his money the right way. His wife got a nice business, so
Hmm.
he's set. He ain't got to worry about working ever again.
Yeah, I don't think he ever got one of them Joshua paydays because I
Nah,
heard
nah, he
I
never
heard
got one of
Joshua was
those.
making almost 70 million, almost what is it, 40 million pounds. That's what the equivalent is. He made about 40 million pounds take home. So I mean, I don't think he ever got one of those big, huge Anthony Joshua paydays. But for those out there who say he's broke, I think that's a joke. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, he never got the payday that Anthony Joshua got. But if you look at what Deontay Wilder did, him and Anthony Joshua started their pro career around the same time. But look how many fights Anthony Joshua got. Look how many fights Deontay Wilder got. Deontay Wilder stayed busy and
Hmm.
he piled up the money. So and he invested it the right way. So he's not far behind Anthony Joshua. Like I said, he didn't get none of the paydays that Anthony Joshua got, but he invested his money the right way, and he got nice paydays in the fights that he did. Once he became a champion, he was getting nice paydays. So it wasn't like
Yeah.
he was struggling for money because I think once he became champion, I don't think he made under $8 million per fight once he became champion.
Yeah, and that's like people don't know. I always try to say the real number. That's like $4 million take home. Because to be honest with you, when you in that 50% tax bracket, they're going to take just that. You know what I mean? And I'm no from records they say Deontay Wilder lives in California. California has a 53% tax rate. If I can't remember exactly if it's still 53, but it was somewhere around 53%. So the brothers, if you paying that kind of taxes, you almost got to count it double. So the funny
Yeah.
thing that get me about Deontay Wilder was I remember when Lou DiBella tried to take him over to the zone and get him $100 million deal. I looked at him like, you crazy? That's nothing. And people don't know this, but the highest deal that Al Heyman ever brokered was a deal for Deontay Wilder behind, what remember when Floyd got that big deal from Showtime? People don't know Deontay Wilder got a 10-figure deal. No, excuse me, a 9-figure deal when he left, when he decided to come back to PBC. So all this Deontay Wilder is broke stuff. The brother got a 9-figure deal. So I ain't gotta tell you what no I ain't gotta tell you nothing. And that's for like 2 or 3 fights. He got a 9-figure deal. So he made some money, man. But let me ask you this. When you see a guy like Deontay Wilder make that kind of money, do you think he's suffering from the silk sheet syndrome? That's why he doesn't look the same? Or you think it's the fights that he had with Fury? What would you say is the reason?
Say that again.
I said, would you say he's suffering from the silk sheet syndrome, being so rich? Or do you think it's because Deontay Wilder really lost some of himself in those Fury in that Fury trilogy? What do you think is going on with why he
I
doesn't
think
look the
he I
same?
I I think it's a couple of things.
Hmm.
Um I think some of it is the fact that he's done far more than what he expected to do. Um the other part is he does have money, so he's not really he's not really hungry like he was when he first got in the game because he had a mission when he first came into the sport. And like I said, the mission was to make sure his daughter was straight. He had to take care of his daughter.
Hmm.
Um, but that played a part, and the fact that he did take a lot of punishment in that Tyson Fury fight, the trilogy. He took a lot of punishment in that fight. Well, not so much the first fight, but mainly the second two fights. I mean, the second and the third fight. He took a lot of punishment, and then you got to also factor in his age. He's like 40 years old. So when you factor the punishment and the age, and he's not as hungry as he once was, you have a fighter that fights similar to the way Deontay Wilder is fighting. He doesn't have The skills is diminished. The ones that he did have when he came into the sport. Now he wasn't the greatest skilled fighter that ever laced up the gloves, but for a guy that started fighting at 19 years old, he was damn good for a guy to
Hmm.
start fighting at 19 years old. And then you, like I said, you look at the fact that he's older. When you get older, the first thing that you start to lose is your athleticism, and that's what Deontay thrived on. Was he was more athletic than a lot of those guys because Deontay Wilder wasn't supposed to be a boxer. He was supposed to play basketball. He has the basketball build. He doesn't have a boxer build,
Hmm.
but he decided to take the sport of boxing, and he did well in it. He did very well in it. And so when you lose your athleticism and your skills start to diminish, the little skills that you do have start to diminish, you're not going to look as good as you look when you were younger.
Yeah, one of the things I will say about Deontay Wilder is the way he looked in that Stavern 2 fight. The way he went from one side to the other so fast, and the way he could throw them hands, I really miss that. That's what that actually, to tell you the truth, watching the Bermain Stavern 1 fight is what got me really back watching boxing. Because I really hadn't watched since Floyd had left. So I kind of wasn't really watching. But then when I seen the Bermain Stavern versus Wilder fight, it just captivated me, and it just said, you know what? This dude, who is this guy? This guy is like Mike Tyson, knocking everybody out. And people don't realize when you make a name for knocking people out, it really draws in what we call the casual fans or the regular fans, because it's nothing better than seeing a guy get knocked unconscious, see his eyes roll in the back of his head. I mean, we can say what we want, but boxing is a flesh peddling business. I think that's what the old cats used to call it. But there's nothing like seeing a dude get his head knocked back. I mean, ain't nothing like it. What about you, Freak? That's one of my favorite things in sports is to watch somebody
I
get
mean,
their head cracked.
it
Go ahead.
it's I mean it's exciting. It's exciting, especially when the match is exciting. Um, but the thing that I think really captivated everybody to watch Wilder was the fact that he picked up the sport so late, and he was a skinny dude, but he
Hmm.
was knocking everybody out. And when you look at the fact that he picked up the sport of boxing at 19, he went into the Olympics and captured the bronze medal, and then
Hmm.
he came into the sport and started knocking everybody out because when he was an amateur in the Olympics, I don't think he had a handful of knockouts. I think he only had maybe like four knockouts. I think he might only had four knockouts in the amateurs. But
Yeah.
when he came into the pros, he started knocking everybody out, and then he captured the title, and they was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, hold up." At first, they just thought he was just a hype job. They were like, "Okay,
Yeah.
this dude, he's fighting a bunch of nobodies, he's knocking them out or whatever." But then once they realized, "Hey, this dude ain't hype. He's really good." and and,
Yeah.
and that's when a lot of people was drawn into Deontay Wilder.
Yeah. Eric Molina had the funniest quote. Eric Molina fought Deontay Wilder and Vladimir Klitschko, and he said Vladimir punches harder, which I can't believe to be true. I don't know. I ain't got punched by him, but he said the way Deontay hit you, you just don't. He just said you don't see it coming, and you just wake up and you lose time in your life. Where when Vladimir hits you, you just feel the thump.
I mean,
So
what?
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that's always true because when you get hit with a clean shot and it knocks you unconscious, you don't feel the hit. You don't feel it. So
Yeah.
you couldn't say that a person hit harder than him or not because you never felt the punch. It knocked you unconscious. And that's
Mhm.
why you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, Tank Davis don't hit that hard." Well, if he doesn't hit that hard, he wouldn't be knocking everybody out. You you gotta hit you gotta hit hard enough to knock people out, or at least make them quit from one punch. You make them quit. So it when people say, "Oh, Deontay Wilder don't hit that hard," yeah, you probably think that because you was knocked unconscious. You didn't feel the punch. It's just like if you get shot, if you get shot by what I'm gonna say you get
A
shot
BB
by a
gun.
38. You get
Oh,
shot
go
by
ahead.
a 38. You get shot by a 38. You gonna be like, "Oh, that joint hurt. It burned. It burned." But if you get shot in the head by a smaller caliber gun and it kills you, you ain't gonna feel it. You're gone. You ain't gonna feel it.
That boy free or nothing, bro.
I'm just saying. So when somebody gets shot with when somebody get hit with a punch and they say, oh, that hurt, but then you get hit by another punch and he knocks you out cold, you can't tell who hit harder because you didn't feel the punch that knocked you out cold. You felt the punches throughout the fight and you were like, oh, he not really hit me that hard. But when he landed that clean shot and he actually put everything into it to land that clean shot, you didn't feel that because you was out cold.
Hey, before you hilarious, man, you all cold. And that boy free great.
That's how it goes.
That boy said you all cold. Of course you ain't feeling. But speaking of that, let me ask you this. So when we talk about Deontay Wilder and what he did, what would you say? How would you kind of rate his run? For me, I would say the run was kind of, he fought the best guys he could fight. What would you say about Deontay Wilder? People say he didn't fight this guy or that guy, but he pretty much fought everybody he could. What would you say about that?
I'm gonna put it like this. He fought everybody who was not scared to get in the ring with him. And if you look at his run as a champion, every single person, every last one of those 10 title defenses was somebody in the top 10 of his sanctioning body. He didn't fight nobody outside of the top 10. Not one single person was outside of the top 10 when he fought him. So you could say he ain't really fight nobody. Well, he tried to make the fight with Anthony Joshua. Anthony didn't want it. When Dillian White was his mandatory, Dillian White didn't take the fight. So and those are the only two guys that he didn't fight. That people said, quote unquote, they wanted to see him fight. Those were the only two guys. Everybody else he fought that he was supposed to fight. He fought all of the other heavyweights. He fought what's the dude name? Dominique Brazil, that everybody thought was going to give him problems. He knocked him out in the first round.
Yeah.
He fought the Scottish dude that was talking crazy. He had him go have a seizure in the ring. They had to take him out on a stretcher.
You talking about Spilker, Arthur Spilker. And he been getting knocked on a stretcher. He been getting knocked out ever since Deontay Wilder hit him. He been going to bed. I see Derek Chisora put him to bed. Suits my brother Tim Lade.
I mean, the man fought everybody that was not scared to get in the ring. When he fought daggone what's my man name? The Cuban, Luis Ortiz. He fought him twice.
Dangerous fight.
He fought Chris Areola, knocked him out with a jab. I mean, he fought everybody that wanted to get in the ring with him. He fought him.
Yeah.
No, actually, I take that back. It's 3 people that people wanted to see him fight that would not get in the ring with him: Dillian White, AJ, and Anthony Joshua. I mean, Andy Ruiz. AJ, Andy Ruiz, and Dillian White.
Andy Ruiz wanted that fight, man. He couldn't get it because people don't know that Eddie Hearn signed him to an ironclad contract where he wanted to unify with Deontay Wilder when he beat Joshua. That was his goal, because I believe he had got out of his contract with Top Rank and he was ready. I meant to say David Haye, not Eric Lee. I meant to say David Haye. That's what I meant to say. I'm looking at my note. It was David Haye who said he could punch.
He couldn't fight Deontay Wilder when he beat AJ because they had an immediate rematch.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he had a good contract. I'm saying he really wanted to fight Wilder and unify, but he couldn't. He couldn't.
No, he had the opportunity to fight Wilder plenty of times after that. That man didn't want to fight. They started saying, "Oh, they talking about the money." Deontay Wilder like, how they saying anything about the money? We never even made it that far. We never even made it that far to talk about money. I'm just trying to get him to say, yeah, he want to take the fight.
Hey, this is all I can say about Free.
This is a sick Negro.
Free is so funny. But the funny thing about it all is when I was watching Deontay Wilder's, fights, one thing I will say is this: even though he had the money, I'll say I feel like he never cheated the sport, and I really appreciate that. But let me ask you this: when you see a guy like Alexander Usyk, what do you think about those people who saying he could beat Muhammad Ali, which is crazy in my opinion? What do you think about that?
I think a lot of those people never watched Muhammad Ali fight. I truly believe a lot of those people never watched Muhammad Ali fight, and the ones who did watch Muhammad Ali fight, they forgot what Muhammad Ali was like when he was in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
So because if you watch Muhammad Ali fight and you watch daggone Usyk fight, nowhere in your right mind would you say, you know what, I think Usyk beats Muhammad Ali. Nowhere in your right mind.
Yeah, because people putting this extra stuff talking about, oh, he was a 2 division champion. Ali didn't need to be no doggone champion at cruiserweight because
No,
he dominated heavyweight.
no.
He didn't need to.
Why? Okay, you is very correct to give him praise for being a 2 division champion. But
Mhm.
how you going to give somebody? How you going to criticize somebody because the fact they was too big to be in another weight class? He fought where the biggest guys was.
Yeah, and
He
he fought
fought where the
about
biggest guys was.
212,
He didn't fight
215.
where the smaller guys were. He fought where the bigger guys were. Muhammad Ali wasn't the biggest guy when he got in the ring with a lot of his opponents. Most of his opponents was outweigh Muhammad Ali. Most of
Yeah,
them
about
outweighed
20,
him.
30 pounds. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
small. He was small. So that being said, could you say is there anybody on Usyk's record that's better than George Foreman?
No. No.
Okay.
Now, if you're talking about the old George, then yeah, you can say there's a couple of guys. But I look at George as a complete career. I look at his complete career. The young George,
The one that was with
Usyk,
Archie
and
Moore, that George.
I don't even think Usyk is good enough to beat the young George. I don't even think Usyk is good enough. It'll be a good fight, but I think at some point the young George is going to catch Usyk with a nice shot, and I don't know if Usyk going to be able to handle it. But no, I don't think there's nobody on Usyk's resume that's better than George Foreman.
Yeah, I don't know about
I
you.
don't think there's nobody on Usyk's resume better than Larry Holmes.
I think Tyson Fury would beat Larry Holmes.
Fuck no.
You crazy, man.
This is a sick Negro.
Dude, crazy, man.
I ain't talking about 1985 or 86 Larry Holmes. I mean 1990 Larry Holmes. I'm talking about the young Larry Holmes that had
From 81?
The man that the Larry Holmes that had a 16 stretch of not losing his championship. He had a 16 fight stretch that he did not lose his championship. Like I said,
You don't think the Fury that beat Wilder?
Larry Holmes never lost his title until he fought who was the guy he fought for the when he had got the IBF title?
Well, then he beat, was that Spinks that he beat?
I think it might have been Spence.
Spinks. I think that was Spinks, yeah.
That
was it Leon or was it his brother?
From the time that he won the WBC title till the time he fought Spence for with the IBF title, he didn't lose that whole go down his resume. He didn't lose to nobody. He was beating everybody.
But wouldn't Fury be too big for him?
Who?
Wouldn't Fury be too big for Larry? Because Larry wasn't the biggest guy.
Larry is about the same size as Usyk, if not taller. He might be taller than Usyk.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying you don't think, Fury at 6'7" would be too big for him? Because I don't think he's 6'9" at all.
No, I don't think he's too big. Larry Holmes beat guys that was taller than him. Larry Holmes had a vicious jab, dog. Tyson Fury have a problem getting around Larry Holmes' jab.
See, it's funny you say that because the only person I really could see beating Tyson Fury, in his prime, before you seen Usyk, I thought was Big Daddy Bo. I thought Big Daddy Bo could probably beat him, but that's the only person I thought could beat him.
No, if you thought Big Daddy Bo can beat him, then you thought Holyfield can beat him. You thought Lennox Lewis could beat him. You thought a few guys could beat him because Big Daddy Bo wasn't undefeated.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. But I'll ask you this. This is kind of this. We go to our next thing because we're gonna get off the heavyweights. Do you think I've been looking at Lennox Lewis's his record? Do you kind of hold it against him that he went back to the Olympics and then came back out?
Do I hold it against him?
Yeah, because he was beating up kids then. You know what I mean? Because he's older than Mike Tyson, but he kind of
Um,
is. Go ahead.
it depends on his age when he went to the Olympics. Because everybody keeps saying that these guys as kids,
He was
they not.
23.
He was 23, so I mean, depending on the age of the guy that he fought in the Olympics, because some of those guys are like 18, 19 years old.
Hmm.
So I mean, they kids, but he ain't that much of an adult at 23 years old.
You know the funny thing about Big Daddy Bo is I don't think I've seen a guy other than probably Larry Holmes who was really big but could really fight. I mean, Big Daddy Bo. I always hate that we never got the Mike Tyson Big Daddy Bo fight. I thought that would have been a great fight, especially back when Mike was defensively responsible. I thought that would have been a great fight because I could
Well,
see Big Daddy going to his body and busting his body up and getting him out of there. What about you?
I don't know. I don't know because the thing that Mike Tyson thrived on was getting to people inside, and if you gave up your height with Mike Tyson, you probably caught a dirt nap. You probably caught a dirt nap if you gave up your height to Mike Tyson. Um,
You
I don't
a
know
woman
because
free.
I don't know because Big Daddy Bo he likes to get into a war.
Yeah, he
He would
do.
sit there and swing with you, and I don't know. I mean, I think it would be a good fight because Big Daddy Bo wasn't no slouch at all. But
No.
I don't know if he would have stood up to Mike Tyson.
Well, let me ask you
I don't
this.
know.
Let me ask you this. So, do you think Tyson Fury had an iron chin until he met Deontay Wilder, or you think he just lost that iron chin from getting it dented in? What do you
No,
think?
he ain't had no damn iron chin. That man been dropped before. It just the man was 6'8", 6'9", whatever his height is. He was taller than everybody, so it was kind of hard to hit him with a clean shot on the chin unless you were closer to his height. It was kind of hard to hit him with a clean shot. But he's been sat down before. He fought Wilder. He's been sat down before.
You funny. He said that boy been
Man,
set down.
it ain't the first time he been sat down.
I gotta play your new drop,
This
man.
is a sick Negro.
But
It ain't the first time.
he said that the first time he had been set down. But you know what's funny? When we talk about boxing, do you kind of worry about Abdullah Mason having such a weak chin going forward?
I don't think Abdullah Mason got a weak chin.
Remember, he almost went to bed.
No, he didn't. He got knocked down. I didn't see him on wobbly legs or none of that. I see him get knocked down, got back up. I ain't see him take a step and look like his legs was on noodle legs. I didn't see none of that.
I mean, he went right down. For you didn't see that when that dude hit him, he went right down.
That's usually what happens when you get a flash knockdown. You go right down. That's usually what happens when you take a flash knockdown. You get hit with a shot and you go down. That's why it's called a flash knockdown because
Uh,
it caught you and you didn't see it coming, but it didn't hurt you. That's why it's called a flash knockdown.
all I remember, Freeze, he was standing up, and then I seen him on his back. That's
Yeah,
all I
but you
see.
also seen him get right back up and drop the dude right after he got right back up with a vicious uppercut.
Yeah, that was. So when you say a flash knockdown, you think it was both those was flash knockdown? Because I don't think he was hurt the first time. The second time, I thought he was hurt.
No, I don't think he was hurt neither time because the thing that what I look at when a person get knocked down, the first thing I look at is their face. I want to see how their eyes look. If their eyes look like it's wandering, I'm like, okay, he's not all there. And he stand up and his legs take that little quick double step, like he's trying to fill the canvas to make sure that his feet is up straight, he ain't all there. That's what I look at. I look at the body language. When you get knocked down, I gotta look at your face, I gotta look at your legs. If you take that little double step like you trying to learn how to walk, you ain't ready to start. You ain't ready to start again. You ain't ready to go back in
Hey,
there.
you know what's funny, man? We gotta get the show back with being free. This dude is crazy, man.
This is a sick Negro.
If you look at Rolly Romero when he got
Salute the
dropped by
Remo on
Tank.
Big Dre. Go
When
ahead.
when Rolly got dropped by Tank and he got up, he took that double step like he was trying to feel where the mat was. That's when you know, hey, he ain't ready to get back in there. That's why the referee looked at him. He said, "Step over here." That nigga stepped over. He took like the extra step. Referee like, "Nah, I'm not
He
letting
said
you
he
continue.
trying to see if the
I'm not
mouth
letting
was
you
still
continue.
there.
Nah, you're not gonna continue on my watch."
Hey, but you know the funny thing about it, man. When we talk about these upcoming fighters, you know who really scares me? Emiliano Vargas gives all his height up. What's up with that, Free? I hate
Uh,
that about his fighting.
um, it's basically the style of fighting that either he feels more comfortable in or the style of fighting that he's been taught from a young age.
Salute, BC.
Because you gotta think about it. His father wasn't the best boxer. He had a lot of heart, and he had a style that fits him because he wasn't the
You
best
said
boxer.
Vargas wasn't the best?
He wasn't the best boxer. He was a good
Oh,
fighter. When I said boxer, he
oh,
wasn't the
okay, I
best
got you. I see what you're
boxer.
saying
He
now.
was a good fighter. He had a style that fit him. So when you got a man that never really boxed like that, he can't really teach you how to box because he don't know how to box. He can't really teach you how to box if he don't know how to do it. So I don't know if that was a style that he was taught at a young age because his father might not have been the only one working with him as a younger child, but he probably was. But I don't know if it's a style that he was taught at a younger age or if that's just a style that he feels more comfortable with. He feels more comfortable just engaging in the action. But the one thing about it is when you fight like that, you gotta be able to get back on guard quick. You gotta at least keep one hand on right by your chin because if you don't, all it takes is for one person, the right person, to hit you in between your punches, and you can go to sleep.
The only thing that I'll say is sometimes Emiliano is like Rick Fox, man. He'll let you beat that cranium up. That's the only thing. I don't know if that's a good idea to let that head take them many shots,
What's going
man.
on,
But
BC? What's going on, Remo? What's going on, Dre?
great show today, Remo. But we gotta introduce my man Thomas Hill in the house. What's going on, Thomas Hill?
This is a sick Negro.
Hey, well, you know, being a chic Negro like I am, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna say happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, happy winter solstice, happy Christmas if you celebrate that, Mickey Ricky. Oh, and anything else, man. Hey, as long as you with the people you love on them while you can, man, because you know, never giving the next moment.
Hey,
Hey,
shout out to
BBO,
my.
look,
Go
BBO, look
ahead.
what I got. Look what I got. I got some fried chicken and French fries with mumbo sauce.
You know about that mumbo sauce.
Hey, I got some of that Capital City sauce. Ain't that what it's called, Capital City?
No, that's the commercial market. That's not
Oh,
the real mumbo sauce. That's the commercial market. That's probably what Remo tastes and talk about. So, oh, that's Chinese barbecue sauce. He probably got that Capital City mumbo sauce. That's
hey,
the
let me ask you
commercial
this:
stuff.
why in DC when you get chicken, why is the rice yellow?
That's because they use that Saison.
Oh, okay. I'm
We got
thinking
a
like,
lot.
man,
We got a lot of Spanish people down here in DC. So a lot of people got used to eating that yellow rice because a lot of Spanish people eat yellow rice. So we got so used to eating that yellow rice that now people eat yellow rice on a regular. I mean, you still got the white rice, you got the fried rice, you got the brown rice, but I mean, being around a
you
lot
know
of
what made me
Spanish
laugh?
people,
Frigo say the Spanish people like he not Spanish.
I'm Spanish, but
Nigga,
Puerto Ricans don't eat yellow rice like that. We just eat rice.
hey,
We eat rice.
but this brother
We
not
don't
no
eat yellow
brother.
rice like that.
My man
Go
said he
ahead.
the black man, but I swore I grew up on rice roni, dog, and that damn chicken edition was yellow as hell, dog. Was good as hell too, dog. I'm gonna have to
Hey,
check
the rice turn
your
yellow when
black
my grandma used to
card.
put that bouillon in there. My man Big J
But
talking
that's
about
like
Capital
that's
City
Sassoon.
is trash.
It
I don't
is
know about that.
compared to the real mumble sauce. That Capital City mumble sauce is trash. If
we
you
went.
if
I
you
went. Go
taste
ahead.
the real mumble sauce, if you taste the real mumble sauce, and then you taste Capital City mumble sauce, you be like, man, that shit ain't the same thing.
We went somewhere in DC, man. They had like some red sauce. I don't know if it was made from blood, but man, that was the best sauce.
That's the mumble sauce. That's the mumble sauce.
You know, I'm talking about
That
it was like a red sauce. It was hot
that's
red
the
sauce they poured on
no.
there.
That's the mumble sauce. I'm gonna show you. Hold on. I'm gonna show you. That's the mumble sauce. Look. I'm gonna show you. Hold up. That this is the actual mumble sauce. You see, my plate is white. My container is white. It's red. That's the actual mumble sauce. It's
Oh,
red.
okay. Well, Capital C don't taste quite like that. I'll say that. It don't
Nah,
taste quite like that.
nah, it don't. That's what I said. If you have the real mumble sauce, Capital City don't taste nothing like it.
Uh, but one thing I do want to say is, man, thank everybody. Thank you for 5,000 subscribers. We got 2,000 subscribers in just 1 year. Thank you guys for appreciating. We've been doing about 2 years. Actually 2 years on the dot. November 16th. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for the support. We real close to getting monetized, and definitely. Hold on, let me shout out our sponsor, man. I'm messing up, Bree. I'm messing up our action. Hold on 1 second. Dang, where did I put it? Shout out to our sponsor, Raycon. Go to rayconglobal.com. That's rayconglobal.com. Get your earphones, get your accessories. Don't forget about the Scooty bikes. If you like the electric bicycles as well as the electric scooters, check out raycon.com. Appreciate you guys sponsoring us. Like I said, I'll have a QR code. I should have my QR code on Tuesday. But thank you, Raycon. Go to rayconglobal.com. That's rayconglobal.com. Thank you guys so much for your sponsorship. But one thing I want to say too. Oh, one more as well. I want to send a big shout out to the Breakfast Box. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring, as well as don't forget about the Smoke Shop. If you are in the Akron, Can area, you have any flower or cannabis needs, oils, pens, whatever the case may be, make sure you stop by the Smoke Shop. That's the Smoke Shop right there in West Market, right by the LeBron House. But back to boxing. The one thing I will say about fighters these days is I'm just shocked that they not pushing Emiliano Vargas more. He about to be the face of the league. I don't know why they're not pushing anymore.
Actually, when you started talking about who's gonna be the next star, I started thinking, and you
Mm-hmm.
know what? I actually thought of who probably would take the helm of the next star once Canelo and Javante leave the sport. Long as he keep winning and he keep doing what he's doing, I think it's gonna be Keyshawn. I think it's gonna be Keyshawn. Because Keyshawn right now, he has that marketability. He knows how to sell himself. He knows how to talk to the crowd. I think it might be Keyshawn that might be the next star. I don't know what happened to BBO. He went quiet.
Oh, I'm a little quiet. My bad. I'm talking to my people,
No,
bro.
I was talking about BBO, but yeah, but yeah, I think it might be Keyshawn that's going to be the next star, because he definitely know how to sell himself. So, I mean, some of the stuff he be capping about, some of the stuff he be exaggerating a little bit, but he definitely know how to sell himself.
I mean, I could buy into Keyshawn because Keyshawn definitely know how to push his whole movement forward. I think that he coming from a time where there's a whole lot of competition to be had, and hopefully they start going back to fighting because that's what we're lacking right now, the fight. I like the way Triple D went up. He showed that he want to be in the mix again at the heavyweight thing, but he still got to remember that he got a foe ahead of him in Josie Parker, and he got to handle that business before anything. But I like the call
Yeah,
outs. We need to get back to the point where we were making call outs like we used to do and getting fights like we used to get and stop fighting over the damn Twitterverse.
yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. I was thinking about Top Rank because their contract is supposed to be up at the end of this year. And Bob Arum said they was asking where they think they're gonna go. Bob Arum said, y'all will see in 2025. I have a surprise for everybody. But I started thinking about what platform. I know a lot of people said the Zone, and they was like they want them to go to the Zone because of Matchroom and Golden Boy. They could put on a lot of fights and stuff like that. Be all those promotions under the same umbrella.
Mhm.
But I started thinking. I said he might be going to Netflix. He might go to Netflix because nobody's talking about Netflix. And Netflix just put on a fight with Jake Paul and Tyson and Mike Tyson, and
Mhm.
they know what to expect when it comes to the boxing industry now. So they might go to Netflix because Netflix don't have any real live TV programming going on like that. So if
Well,
they
they
can
bought
get
them
over there,
NFL games.
yeah, I mean that's two games that they had today,
Yeah.
but they don't have no reoccurring live programs that's going on Netflix like that. So
Okay.
if they can go over to Netflix, they be the only promotional company on Netflix. They can put out as many fights as they want. They can have fights Friday night, Saturday night. They can have fights Thursday night, Tuesday night fights again. So that might be a good look for them. They're
Yeah.
not they're not they're not competing with basketball, football, soccer, baseball like they was with ESPN. ESPN had all of the sports, so they had to compete with those companies as well. So going over to Netflix, Netflix don't have a deal with nobody yet. So that might be a move for them.
So one thing I wanted to ask you guys about when we talk about fighters, who would you guys say was your favorite fighter to see come to the ring? My favorite was Roy Jones. I feel like Roy Jones was the best dressed fighter as far as when he came to the ring. He had the tassels on the shorts, have them on the boots. I mean, do you think who was your guy? Who was your favorite person to see come out the ring back in the day,
You talking about
or even
best
now?
dress?
Yeah, best
Best
dressed.
dress?
Yeah.
Uh I don't know. I don't really pay too much to their attire like that. I look at I look at the ring walk and then I look at the performance. I care less what they got on. They ain't got nothing but some shorts and some shoes. I don't really care about that.
I
I, I'm
mean,
I'm look I'm looking at the ring walk and I'm looking at the performance in the ring. Now, if you want to say who caught my attention when it
mhm.
came to the ring walk, it was Prince.
Yeah, Prince I
Prince
see
caught
him.
my attention. Yeah,
Yeah.
he caught my attention when it came. He was the first one that I saw that was doing. He was the first one that was doing those big extravagant ring walks. He was the first one I seen doing it. And then you started seeing more people do it once he started doing it. You started seeing more people follow behind his lead.
So what about you, Brother Hill? My bad, Deacon Hill. What about you, Deacon Hill?
Well, for me, I think I used to love the executioner, man, when he came out, man. I liked his whole aura. I like how he stuck to his title and to his name. The moniker, the brand that he pushed out there, man. And I like the ensembles he put together with the music that he selected, bro. So for that, I would love to see him come out, man. Also, I used to love Hector Macho Camacho, bro. He used to come out and put on shows when he came out, bro. And on top of that, he wore some wild stuff back in the days, man. Some of the stuff that he wore back in the days, like starting to make its way back now. So, I thought he put on when he came
You
back
talking
was
about the
good
dude that
too.
beat Sugar Ray Leonard to death?
Yeah, he beat on
Yeah.
a Sugar Ray Leonard that did no business in the ring with him. You know what I'm saying? But he definitely put them things on.
He gave him a beating.
Yeah, he definitely put them
um,
things on.
the one of my favorite man that always be man Mike Tyson, but I gotta give Tank credit, because I had never really heard of like Chrome Heart before, but that Chrome Heart stuff, I even bought me a book bag one man, a book bag of it. That them little with the crosses on, you seen that? You seen that, Tommy? That Chrome Heart logo on is cold, and I like that logo. I wouldn't go as far as Tank with like a like a bag or nothing, but I got the book bag, that I had never really seen that before. So I gotta say, Tank really is the king of that, man. He for me, he come out every time he come out, or him or Devin Haney, because Devin Haney had all that essentials on and all that. Even though he kind of took a poop on himself and ruined it, but the way he came out, man, with all that essential stuff on, with the look like the fake Yeezy boots on, that was a pretty cold little outfit. What you think, man?
I
Um,
think Tank puts on. Oh my bad. I let
no,
DC go.
no,
'Cause I
you good.
thought
You
you
go ahead.
did.
You go ahead.
No. I got to make a play for somebody. So go on and rock out.
Yeah, not. I mean, Tank. If you want to say best dress, far as their ensemble as they come to the ring, that they whatever they have on as they come to the ring, and then
Hmm.
their trunks and their shoes and the gloves. I say Tank probably is the best dress out of all of them because his stuff is usually always on point. I never really seen Tank come out and you be like, man, what the hell he got on? I ain't never really seen him like that. I
Salute
mean,
to
a
my
couple
man
of these
Curly Top in
guys
the chat.
couple of these guys you seen and you be like, man, what the hell do they have on? And then other times you be like, okay, I like what they got on right there. But I say Tank probably is the best dressed out of all of them because
Yeah,
he's more consistent. Now
yeah.
everybody has their moments, but Tank is more consistent with his whole attire. He's more consistent than everybody else.
Well, let me ask you this: Do you think Tank? How come Tank don't get any flack for copying Devin Haney so much, or is Devin Haney copying Tank? What do you think?
I mean, if you want to be technical, it is usually Devin Haney copying Tank because Tank was the one that was doing all this stuff first. Devin Haney, remember when Devin Haney first came out before he got the fame to where he's at now, he
Hmm.
was just he would just come straight out. He had music or whatever, but
Hmm.
he was more so plain Jane. It wasn't nothing real extravagant about Devin Haney. It wasn't until he got the fame that he started doing other stuff. So it is more so. I wouldn't say neither one of them are copying each other, but
Hmm.
if I had to say one is copying the other, I would say Devin Haney is copying Tank.
My man Remo said he got Cool Boy, Tank, Plant, Devin, Keyshawn. That's a pretty solid list. But I'll say this: the thing that's so funny about boxing, I like when guys do that because one of my favorite people used to be when I was a kid was this rapper named Busta Rhymes, and I felt like Busta Rhymes was such a good person at giving you a whole image. Like you wasn't just getting Busta Rhymes. Like if he did like a carnival thing, he gonna wear that whole image for you. You know what I mean? He gonna give you that whole
Yeah,
experience. And I feel like Tank, just like Prince Asim, does a great job of giving you a great show. Because 9 out of 10, when Tank gets done, he gonna probably knock his opponent out. But back to boxing, let me ask you this: Do you think that Frank Martin going to 140 is going to be good for him, or do you see him get knocked out by a guy like a Tio or any other champions up at the IBF? What do you think? I mean, or even like a Hitchens? You think he can beat any of them guys like that?
I think he has the skills to beat all of those guys. It's just a matter of does he have the IQ and the experience to put it all together on one night.
Hmm.
But he has the skills to beat all of those guys. I don't see nobody that's too is that much of another level far as skill wise at 140 that I say okay Frank Martin is out of his element with this dude. This dude is just too skilled for Frank Martin. I don't see nobody like that at 140. Um, but I don't know what happens at 140 for Frank Martin because I never seen him up there before.
Hmm.
He very well could go up there and clear out the division. He has that type of talent where if everything falls right on fight night, he can go out there and make guys look like he made Michelle Rivera look.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happens with him at 140. I can't wait to see him in the ring again because he was one of the guys I like to watch because he's highly skilled. He got power and
Hmm.
he's gonna keep you entertained the entire fight.
So this one I ask you this, man. We got a guy. I don't support him in any way. But we got former unified champion and current WBO Ring Magazine champion Teofimo Lopez taking on Godzilla and my man Sergio Matias. What do you think about Tio taking such a tough fight right away?
Um, I don't know what you mean by right away because he's been at 140 for a while now. He's been at 140 for like almost 3 years. Well, this is his third year being
Hmm.
at 140. So I don't. He didn't had what 4 or 5 fights at 140.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you mean by right
When
away.
I say right away, what I'm saying is you're talking about taking on probably the boogeyman of the division after coming off a tough fight with Jermaine Ortiz. What do you think about that?
You can't say he the boogeyman of the division because there's been guys that called him out. Boogeyman is everybody give these people these titles, but I look at the actual meaning of the title. A boogeyman is somebody that nobody calls for. Nobody speaks on their name. That's what you call a boogeyman. I don't look at Matias as a boogeyman. I look at Matias as a guy that's going to come to fight.
Hmm.
Now, a lot of people don't want to get in the ring with him, but I don't look at him as a boogeyman because there are people that want to get in the ring with him.
Yeah, my man Remo said everybody at 140 could lose, everyone but that. Not a bad thing. That's a division so deep. I'll say this: what happens if Tio is able to beat a former rough and tough champion like a Sergio Matias? Would that put him? Would you say if he beat him and then goes in there with a monster like Josh Norman Jr.? I mean Brian Norman Jr. Would you say that that makes him, top five pound for pound if he could beat both those guys in a row?
No, no.
Okay,
It probably puts him on the pound for pound because right now
I can't hear you. Went out. My bad. D Free got an Obama phone. So he's trying to figure out what's going on with it. But I would say if he's able to beat Brian Norman and Sergio Matias, those will be some good wins. The cool thing about Teofimo Lopez, he got an easy fight that he can make with a guy named Richardson Hitchens, Africa. I know everybody's been impressed with Africa, but the way I've seen him spar, I've been blessed to see him spar. Shout out to my man, Sharif One. Definitely shout out my man Ja. Salute to my man Ja, and definitely my man Eli. Shoot them brothers out. But I think from what I've seen with Africa, getting a chance to watch him spar, I think Africa would lose badly to a Tio. And plus, in my humble opinion, I feel like Africa really is just a poor man's Devin Haney. What would you say to that, Free? Oh, he must be on a phone call. My bad, Free's on the phone. He said Tio's power rank carry up to him to 140. I don't think his power carry up to 140 at all. I would agree with that. I just think that his boxing ability is pretty good.
I just what's that? That right there, that looks like dressing. That's dressing.
My man Thomas Hill's over there serving up some meals. But what I would say is when you think about Tio, yeah, this power definitely didn't come with the 140 at all. I could say I seen him hit guys way cleaner at 140 than he did at 35, and they're not moving. So his power is not there. But I think the thing that he's kind of like living off of is his athleticism. So he's a naturally more athletic guy than most guys at 140. I think that'll get him over the edge because he's so athletic. But I will say, if he got in there with a guy like maybe like a Tank who can match that athleticism and can punch, that would be a recipe for disaster. If he runs into somebody who got the power, and I just be honest with you, there's really nobody at 140 who has the kind of power to sit him on his pockets. So that's the one thing I don't know. He said that would be a good fight, but Africa had power that Tio doesn't. Um, I get what you're saying, Dre, but Africa is really not a big puncher. Africa is very much a boxer. And one thing I have noticed with Africa, not this fight recently, but when he fought Lemos, the guy that Keyshawn beat to death, when Lemos touched that chin, he backed up and retreated. So the only thing about Africa that worries me is that when he gets that chin touched, he likes to move around, and he's known for sparring smaller guys. He's known for smaller spar guys. He sparring smaller guys. It's not just me saying that these are boxers that I've seen. He likes to spar with guys at 135, 130, 126 because he doesn't necessarily want guys as big as him in the ring. So for me, that worries me. So knowing that he spars smaller guys, knowing that he doesn't really spar guys his size, that worries me a little bit. But I definitely can see Africa coming out with a win, and I could see him coming out with a loss. I think Africa is like a guy that one of my favorite guys, Troy Ave. He's good, but he's just average. And there's nothing wrong with that, but he's not, there's nothing special in my humble opinion about Africa. There's nothing that he does very well. I mean, he's just very good at everything, but he's not special in anything. So I think a guy like a Teofimo Lopez probably will hang his hat. You know what I mean? He probably hurt him. So that's just my humble opinion. What you got on that, Thomas Hill?
My bad,
Hey, well, no, you good. I'll let D3 cook because I'm still in the mix. Anyways.
Okay.
I didn't hear the question. What was the question?
No, I was just we was talking about a guy like Africa getting in there with Tio. What do you think? How do you think that fight would play out?
Africa getting there with Tio?
Yeah.
Um, I, I don't know. I don't know how that fight goes. Because I don't know which TO I'm gonna get. I don't know if I'm gonna get a TO that's gonna come forward, or if I'm gonna get a TO that just wanna counter punch. And the same thing with Africa. I don't know if I'm gonna get a defensive fighter, or if I'm gonna get a fighter that's want to press the action. So it's really kind of hard to say when it comes to those individuals when you're not consistent on the style of fighting that you fight. It's kind of hard to say. You just pretty much have to wait to see.
Hmm.
It's a 50-50 fight. Now, if we both get the fight that they normally fight, um, it can go either way, because I think Africa is defensive enough where he can frustrate Tio and make Tio fight outside of his comfort zone. Um, but Tio Tio well, we thought that T.O. had the power. He had it at 135, but we really haven't seen it on display at 140. So I don't know what happens with T.O. far as his punching power. I don't know if he can hurt a guy like Africa, because, like I said, we haven't seen that punching power on display at 140.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say, and this is just like I said, this is from getting an opportunity to see Africa spar. When he spars, he looks spectacular. The way he runs his mouth, he likes to call the guys in the gym B word. I mean, he's very aggressive when he's sparring. But I've never seen Africa that you see in sparring that you would see in a fight. So that's the only thing. Um, Matter of fact, free. Hold on one second. Let me call one of his sparring partners up and see if I can get him on the show real quick. Hold on. How you take over for a second?
Yeah. How you feel about it? How you feel about it, Thomas? Far as Africa, as a Africa and T.O. facing each other. Dang. I don't know what happened. Oh, Thomas said he was getting a plate.
Yeah. I was getting a play, but
Oh,
I tell you what I'm talking. I believe that as far as sparring, I'm not sure about sparring because I don't put much weight on sparring because sparring most times people just working on stuff and people are there to give them a certain look just to get prepped for it in the upcoming fight. But as far as them in the ring together, Teal's a fantastic talent, but he also has struggled in fights, and it's really been publicized how bad he struggled in fights. So Africa being a sound boxer and one who doesn't necessarily have to come forward but can box off the back foot would possibly be pose him a lot of trouble, man, because that's where he struggled. When he had to come forward and initiate the fight, he's not looked good. He's overcommitted. He's put himself in bad situations and has not looked very good. So given that, Africa stands a very good chance, in my opinion. I think 40 division is wide open. I think it's a really good
yeah,
division. I think that there's a lot of action there
yeah.
myself.
It's definitely wide open. Anybody can win at 140. It's nobody at 140 that I say, you know what? Ain't nobody gonna be able to get past this fighter right here. Or anybody that get past him, they got to be a hell of a fighter. I don't see anybody like that, because a lot of these guys are so inconsistent. and that's everybody that I've seen at 140. I haven't seen a consistent fighter at 140 yet. Everybody is inconsistent at 140.
I couldn't get your boy John on the phone, but it is Christmas, so I ain't gonna get you mad at it. But I'll say this though. Salute to my man Picasso, salute to my man Ant-Man pulling up, and definitely salute to my man GP, man, the Reverend himself, man. Shout out to GP, man. Um, but I'll say this, man. I think the only thing at 140, only thing T.O. is missing is power. But I think with Eddie Reynoso, probably the best trainer in boxing, I think that'll go a long way. I would say him and Bomac, in my humble opinion, I feel like they both are, 1 and 2 as far as trainers in this game. And I think him getting an upgrade in trainer might help him. I don't know. Canelo's been unstoppable these last 11 years. So I would assume, I would surmise that Tio with Eddie Reynoso would be a huge upgrade. What would you say to that, Free?
I think Eddie Reynoso is a bad trainer for the style of To's. To's more of a counterpuncher. He's not Eddie Reynoso. Every one of Eddie Reynoso fighters is a come forward fighter. Now
Hmm.
he can probably teach To how to be a better come forward fighter,
Hmm.
but To been fighting the style that he's been fighting his entire life. To try to change what To does well
Hmm.
is a bad look. So I think Eddie Reynoso is a bad trainer for To. Now he's not a bad trainer overall, but for To, he's a bad trainer because he doesn't he doesn't train the style of fighting that To fights. You don't
Hmm.
want to get a guy that's already in his mid 20s that's been fighting a certain way his entire life to now try to change how he fights. You want to perfect what he's doing. You want to give him pointers how he can make his style easier and he doesn't have to work as hard. So I think that's a bad look for him getting with uh, Ray Reynoso, Eddie Reynoso. I think it's bad.
Um, I can see why you would say that, but you don't think having a guy that's had all the champions under his wing, you don't think that'd be great for him?
What's the good of him at under having him there if he can't tell you how to make your style better?
Well, I think he
Now,
struggles to
like I
be
say,
first. That's my only thing. I think he struggles to be first.
yeah.
That's
So
why I think it'd
so
be good.
if Eddie Reynoso is if Eddie Reynoso is his sole trainer, Eddie
Hmm.
Reynoso is going to show him how to come forward. He's not going to perfect the style that To is used to fighting. Like I said, it might work. I just think that it's a bad look because To doesn't fight like that. He's been fighting a certain way his entire life. That's the same thing like with Wilder. Wilder fought one way his entire life. He stood behind a jab and he throw the right hand behind it. He set it up perfectly. He got with Malik Scott and they try to add some more things to it and change some things up. Wilder's too far past that to try to add some new stuff to his repertoire. He's too far past that. You got to just perfect what he got and try to make it better. You can't try to add some new stuff or teach him some other things because he's going to revert back to what he knows how to do anyway. He's gonna once him coming forward, fighting coming forward, start to get too heated. He's gonna
Hmm.
revert back to what he knows how to do well. And so you got to teach him what he knows how to do well. You can add some stuff in there because the To's young enough where you can add some stuff. Okay, when you do come forward, you can do this, you can do that.
Hmm.
But you want to make them come at you because you're a better counterpuncher than you are a come forward fighter.
So that being said, I would agree with you on that, on some of what you're saying, because you do make some good points. But what we seen with TF, we seen a guy who never came forward, walk a guy down, drop him, and really I thought at one point was going to stop Pedraza. So you don't think that he could do that same thing that we seen with TF?
Huh?
Because Tevin Farmer is a lot like Tio as far as he's a boxer who likes to counterpunch. But we seen him this last fight. We had never really seen him. He was walking Zepeda down trying to stop him. You don't think that would be an upgrade for him whenever you see a boxer get flat footed, just like we seeing with my guy Lara at 160? You don't think this could
Well,
be good for T.O. being flat footed, stopping people?
I mean, well, when you saw what Tevin Farmer did, it wasn't so much him walking Williams Zepeda down. He stood in the pocket with Zepeda and made Zepeda miss. And when he made him miss, he made him pay for it. It wasn't so much of the walking down. And then you also gotta look at Tevin Farmer. He's much older than T.O. He's been in the boxing game longer than T.O. So he's a little more seasoned. I'm not saying he's a better fighter than T.O., but
Mm-hmm.
he's a little more seasoned than T.O. because he's been fighting longer. So
Mm-hmm.
when you become that older veteran, you start
Mm-hmm.
seeing things differently. You see the mistakes that the younger guys make, and you know how to capitalize on the mistakes that they're making. It's just like me now. Me watching football, I could see the mistakes that these guys make on the football field because I played my entire life. Now I'm not athletic enough at my age now to get out there and play, but I can see what they're doing wrong and I see the mistakes that they're making. I can see what, because I played corner my entire career. I see when a corner line up when he's going to get burnt. I'm like, oh, he's cheating to the inside. He's going to get burnt off this play right here. He's going to
Mm-hmm.
get beat. He's cheating to the inside. And if you're a veteran wide receiver, you pick up on things like that as well. So that's why I say he's more of a veteran than
Mm-hmm.
T.O. is because he's been in the game longer. So he could see things a little easier than T.O. could see. T.O. is still trying to get to that point where things start to slow down for him.
Um, I can see what you're saying, but one thing I'll say just to kind of give you an idea of, because I see what you're saying, I definitely agree with what you're saying. But sometimes you might see a guy cheat to the corner because he knows that he's a he's a speed demon and he can catch him. So sometimes you
Yeah.
can do that because Champ Bailey was notorious for doing that, coming in way too fast, coming in way too close. But guess what he could do? You're not running away from Champ, and I think T.O. in this case, if he could learn to come forward and land and keep his feet flat and really throw the weight and throw the hips, because people think the power comes from your legs, the power comes from your hips. If he could use his hips, turn his body, and push that punch through the guy, forget on him, through him, I think he could stop a lot more guys. So it could go either way, but I think
Yeah.
getting with Eddie Reynoso, nothing's ever wrong with getting probably with the best trainer that we've seen in the last 10 years or so. So there's no
I think
downside to that. Go ahead.
I mean, if he wasn't such a immature individual and
Mm-hmm.
talked so much trash,
Mm-hmm.
and those individuals didn't like him, I think the best trainer for T.O. for his style of fighting would have been somebody like Bomac. That would have been the best trainer for T.O.
You think so?
Yeah.
I can see why you would say that, but yeah, I could see that because Bomac does a great job of helping you understand not only how to hit you, but how to do a correct punch. He's really good at accurate punches
Not not
because
not only
go
that,
ahead.
but look at the type of fighters that Bomac has in his stable. They're all boxers that can counterpunch well. They're all boxers, but they can counterpunch well. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what T.O. does. He can box, but he counterpunches well. When
Mm-hmm.
he's sitting back and letting you come forward and he's in his zone, like he did with Josh Taylor, he's gonna pick you apart because he's in his zone. But if you get in there with somebody, like I say, he get in there with somebody like a Tank Davis, who's more seasoned than him, who has a bigger ring IQ, he's gonna make T.O. chase him. Tank ain't gonna come at T.O. until he wears T.O. down. Once he wears T.O. down, then he'll come at T.O. But he's gonna make T.O. come at him because Tank Davis is a counterpuncher as well. So Tank Davis is smart enough to know, okay, I'm gonna make you come at me. Once I see that you are starting to wear down and you're starting to fatigue, then I'm gonna come at you. That's what Tank Davis does so well. He makes you chase him around and try to bogart him. You use all your energy trying to bogart the smaller guy to where now by the 6th round your energy is spent and Tank Davis is just now starting to come on.
And see, that's the one thing I felt like with Devin with the Ryan fight. Of course, we know Ryan cheated, used Osterine and all that. But I just always felt that Devin doesn't do a good job of defense. He's very offensive minded. Like, because they say he's a slick black fighter, people assume that the slick black fighter has defense. But I think that's one of Devin's weakest things because used to be a fighter, one of my favorite fighters, Tim Weatherspoon, Terrible Tim. Remember how he would use that offhand for defense? He would always use that offhand to kind of block that little backhand to catch punches sometime, throw them. Because a lot of Ronnie Shields fighters do that, where they use their offhand to kind of catch punches. And I feel like a guy like Devin should really work on using his offhand better because no matter what happens when he gets into these fights, people know he's going to be susceptible to the left hook. And not only that, he doesn't have the best chin because he went right down when he got punched. When I seen Tank Davis take some of those same punches, if not worse, especially in that second round before Ryan lost all that steam, because he lost a lot of steam when Tank caught him with that counter punch and he went right down. I seen Tank take some of them punches and he was fine, but those same punches that hit Devin went right down. So would you say Devin is chinny? Or would you say he just need to work on his overall defense? I would say he needs to work on his overall defense. What would you say?
I say he needs to work on his defense, but see the thing is about Tank is he does take some punches clean, but a lot of those punches that we think that he takes clean, he doesn't because he rolls with the punches. Like if you look at the Rolly fight when Rolly hit Tank Davis, because Rolly hit Tank Davis a couple times. Tank Davis rolled with that punch, so it was never a full impact on Tank Davis. Same
Mm-hmm.
thing with Pitbull Cruz. When Pitbull Cruz hit Tank Davis, he rolled with it, so it wasn't a
Mm-hmm.
full impact. So it's just learning how to be defensive, even though you're getting hit, how to roll with the punches, so you could take some of the steam off the punch.
That's a good point. I just to say this, Free. Um, the one thing that always makes me laugh when people say, people don't fight nobody. I will. Merry Christmas to my brother Bentley. I will say this. I don't think Tank gets enough credit for giving Rolly credit for saying He said Rolly was cracking. And from what I hear, that Rolly can really, really punch. And I got to say this, Tank took some clean shots. So that's what I mean when I say I think he got an iron chin. But them aside, before we get out of here, man, I want to talk about a guy that I think don't get enough credit. What do you think? What do you think is next for Big Baby Anderson?
I really don't know. He need to get in the ring with somebody.
Who would you
I,
want to
I
see him fight? Would you want to see him rematch Bacoli? I would.
hell no. You want to see him retire?
Go, Bree.
Hell no.
Go. Where you go?
No, I mean when it, I I would want to see him. I would want to see him in there with a stiff competition, but not too stiff that they take all his confidence away. Because right now his confidence is low. His confidence is low. When you get sat down multiple times, it's like Devin Haney, your confidence is going to be low. So I I want to see him get in there with a stiff competition, but not. I mean, and it's kind of hard to say because they are heavyweight, but not a real power puncher. He could be in there with somebody that's stiff to build his confidence back up, but they're not a real big puncher like that. And I really don't know anybody right off the top of my head. It's probably gonna have to be one of these prospects for him to get in there to build his confidence back up.
All I can say is this, Free.
This is a sick Negro.
That's all I can say. I don't know about that. If I was him, I wouldn't go into Martin Bacoli right away. If I was him, I would try to fight a guy like a Andy Ruiz, maybe even dig up Luis Ortiz, see if you can dig him up. Um, I think he should fight a
Andy might be a good fight. The only problem is, I mean, Andy's a big puncher. He's a big puncher, and he got fast hands.
That's why
So
I said I think he need to fight guys with fast hands because I feel like, in my humble opinion, I feel like Big Baby Anderson doesn't do a good job of his defense, and he needs to figure out how to take a punch better because he didn't even he just was going like right to bed. Like you can't just sit there and let dude just beat you to death. You got to grab him. You got to grab him. You can't let him just sit there and beat you up.
And McQueen said running back with Bacoli. Yeah, you want him to go ahead and hang it up. You want him to go ahead and hang it up. He can't run it back with no Bacoli. Not right now. He could run it back with him, but let him get some confidence back and he gets some experience because. And
I'm gonna just say this about Ant McQueen, man.
I don't even know if he beats him even after that, but at least he knows what to expect. He got his confidence back, and he could see the mistakes that he made. But to go right back in there with Bacoli, yeah, you asking for him to go ahead and say, you know what? I told y'all this wasn't gonna be the only thing I do anyway. I'm done.
Yeah.
This is a sick Negro.
That man get in there with Mark Bacoli, he's gonna be completely done with the sport of boxing. That man is not. He ain't gonna want to see another pair of boxing gloves.
I agree. I agree with that. But I would say this. One fight that Lewis lost that always get me is the fact that he lost to my man Outlaw McCall, and then he went and stole his trainer. And I think once he got with Emmanuel Stewart, I feel like he was just on another level. So I get what you're saying, Ant, but I don't think there's nobody that could help my man Big Baby Anderson like that.
The thing is, the difference between Lennox Lewis and Hasim Rahman was Lennox Lewis was winning that fight and he got caught with a clean shot. It wasn't like he was losing and he got caught multiple times. He was winning that fight and he started playing around, and Hasim Rahman seen an opening and caught him with a clean shot, and he went down like a bag of rocks. When he got back in the ring, he said, "Okay, you know what? I can't take this dude lightly," and he went in there and he stepped on the gas the entire fight. That's the difference. And Big Baby Anderson was not winning that fight at no point in time of that damn fight. That man was getting beat up. Maybe the first round you could have gave it to Big Baby Anderson, but after that, he was getting beat up. That man went down the second round. He was getting beat up the entire fight.
Hey, he got tossed, man. He got tossed, man. But pause on him saying he got tossed, but he definitely got tossed, man.
No did it. I said no did it. I say no did it. No did it.
Hey, but he said he still got caught. He got up to the fight again. I'll say this though. Martin Bacoli, I think is good, but I just want to see him against somebody elite. Because people talking like Mark Bacoli can go in there and beat Usyk. I don't know if he can. I have heard that he kind of dropped Usyk in sparring, but sparring is different. Because one thing I learned about sparring, some people be in there just messing around.
He ain't dropped Usyk in sparring. He stopped Usyk in sparring.
Well, I don't know, but I don't know if that's true. I just heard that he did get knocked down.
I'm telling you, he stopped Usyk in sparring, and he knocked out Daniel Dubois in sparring. He stopped Usyk, and he knocked Daniel Dubois out. Cold.
Cold. Let me ask you this: what do you think about as Martin? I don't know what I'm about to say, Martin, but as Triple D was calling out Usyk, why was he looking at him so crazy? Like, what do you want, man?
I don't know. Like Usyk like, man, we can run it back. Let's do it. He ain't even hesitate. He said, all right, let's do it. He ain't hesitate not one bit.
Oh, shoot, I messed around. I forgot to tell you guys about our goal. Our goal is every show to get at least 5 appreciations. It could be any numeral, it doesn't matter. But we're trying to grow the show. So like I said, if you guys want to support the channel, we just try to get 5 appreciations a show. Last week we got to 2, and we were just short 3. But we're trying to get to 5 appreciating. So anything that you want to send to us to help us build this camp, we would appreciate it. But one thing I will say, he said, and he got pieced up by Michael Hunter under the lights. I'll say this, man. Oh yeah, he did. But I'll say this. No matter how you put it, when it comes to boxing in general, I think the heavyweight division is in a good space. That dude Moses looks good. I think Big Baby Anderson will be back.
Hold up.
Go
I
ahead.
want to answer Bentley's question. He said, right now, who's elite at heavyweight? Right now, the only elite person at heavyweight is Usyk right now. I don't see nobody else elite at heavyweight right now.
You don't
Usyk is
think
the only
Daniel's
guy.
elite?
Nope.
He beat Herkovich.
I don't care. I don't think he's elite. I think he's good. I don't think he's elite. I think he's good. I think Usyk is the only elite heavyweight right now.
I can see
Fury
it.
was on the verge of being elite, even though I feel the way I feel about the whole Wilder fight. He was on the verge of being elite, but I see that Wilder fight took a lot out of him. He hasn't been the same since the Wilder fight. Anthony Joshua hasn't been the same since he lost to Usyk twice. Daniel Dubois, he got stopped by Usyk. Yeah, I think Usyk might be the only person that's elite right now. I can't think of nobody else that's elite right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's definitely a good point. I'll say this before we get out of here. One thing about boxing, I think it's in a great space. And no matter what happens, I want to say, man, at the end of the day, this is my final take. At the end of the day, man, a day like this, you definitely want to spend with your family, and you definitely want to spend watching BVO TV. But you know what? I'll say this, man. Cherish your family, because one thing I can say, when I looked around, my family today, it was so many people missing. My grandmother wasn't there. It's just a bunch of people. But I'll tell you this, man, love your loved ones while you got them. I was able to spend some time today with my mother, Mama BVO, and I was glad to have time with her, have time with my family, and that's what it's all about. You got anything for us, Fury? I mean, I'm about to call you Fury. You got anything before we get out of here?
No, I mean, everybody be safe for the holidays. If we don't see y'all tomorrow, y'all to be safe, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.
Hey, I got something to say, bro, because I've been quiet like a mug, bro. I was
Go ahead. The floor is yours.
The floor is mine. Hey, well, like my man BVO said, on a day like this, you want to be with your family. And you also want to be with BVO because he love you like your brother. Like you're a brother, and he loves you. So make sure you tune in. Check out the family here, because, just like any other family, we got some characters in it. And some of them, you just can't watch. You can't go a day without watching, because they say something that you couldn't believe, man. But that's BVO boxing for you. We out.
All I can say about my big brother Tommy
This is a sick Negro.
Negro.
It was sweat, Frankie.
My man Thomas Hill said he don't want to say the N-word as much, so we're gonna respect my brother, man. We gonna try. Only person to say the N-word is Free. So
Negro.
So he gonna try to say Negro, man. But the sport's in a good spot, man. Like I said, we gonna probably definitely be back tomorrow. We so close to getting monetized, man. Please continue to watch the videos. Let them play while you're at work. Let them play while you're at home. And we're going to get behind the scenes. Me and Free, we're going to do something special. This weekend, we're going to be on for a long time. So we're going to have some Soul Brother #1 episodes. We're going to get on there. I'm going to get charged up. I'm going to have my coffee like my man Timothy Bradley saying. We're going to be on. We're going to get this number together. But we got a big debate coming on. Shout out to my man Knockout. Me and Free are going to debate, and the winner's going to get knockout. So that's the cool thing. I think this would be a good enough motivation for me to finally stop Free. And if I don't, I get to see Free versus my man Knockout. So that'd be great. I think that's a huge potential battle. But, I'm upset the party like I always do. And I'm going to stop Free. Probably 3-0. What you think, Free?
What you think, Free?
Not in your wildest dreams.
This is a sick Negro.
Hey, shout out to the good brother
Even
KO
when
Boxing.
you dream and you dream that you won, you gonna like, man, that was a dream. That was a dream. I ain't.
So they got you like Freddy Krueger, bro. He coming at you in your night.
And shout out to my man Prize Fighter for sending me this picture of Tank when he was little. I never seen that picture before.
Oh, you got we gonna get the Tank when he was little.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see the thumbnail. We got my man, we got Uncle Ray, and of course my man, dude
Robert
from Baby's Kids, Robert Harris. and we got Baby Tank on here. So salute to my man Prize Fighter for sending me that picture of Baby Tank. But me and Free gonna get together behind the scenes. And like I said, I already got it official with my man Knockout. The winner's gonna get knockout right here on BBO Boxing. So whether it's me defending or it's the Puerto Rican defending, somebody gonna stop Knockout. So I think I'm gonna come back with one of the biggest streaks in the world. I'm gonna stop Free, then I'm gonna stop Knockout right here for y'all. And that's what we do. That's what we do, man. I do it for you guys, man. And like I said, appreciate you guys on 5,000 subscribers to get 2,000 subscribers. I appreciate each and every person who helped me. Shout out to Q to God. Shout out to people like I hate to mention his name, but I'm gonna give him some credit. Shout out to people like G5. Shout out to people like my man Southern T. I always said Southwest T. Is that how you see it? I don't always call him Southern T or something, but shout out to my man T. That nigga know who he is. Shout out to my nigga T. And on that note, we out here. And just remember, when I stop D Free, just remember this about him.
This is a sick Negro.
I like that one. That one's perfect for you, Free.
You out here like Envo. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it.
Hey, Free, all I can say is this.
Okay? You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy. Okay? Okay? You? Absolutely.
On that note, we out of here.
Peace.
You said what?
As long as you know you're not that guy.
Oh, hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BBO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BBO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BBO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BBO.